What is happening, YouTube? My name is Joe, just your average Joe, hanging out here. We're getting ready to go over some eBay stuff, so stick around. I got a few things that are happening on eBay that it's just a headache, so we'll cover that here shortly. We got a bunch of comments to go over as well. Hopefully, you're staying dry because the hurricane is coming through. I'm in North Carolina. Um, we just now are starting to get some of the outer bands, so we're starting to get some drizzles, some heavy rain and drizzles on and off. No wind really. Probably won't get too crazy winds because it's going to be a tropical storm by the time it hits us, um, or more so the eye once it gets to where we're at because it's actually coming pretty close or right where we're at. We're in the path, but obviously those things fluctuate constantly, so you never really know where it's going to fall. But we're kind of in its path, so we'll see how things go. But really, the main thing you got to worry about in this where we're at is mainly just flooding, which that happens regularly and it can get bad. Down trees because the ground is so saturated, and of course, if you get those winds and those gusts come through, it can knock down some trees, and then you got roads that you can't get through until they cut the trees and things like that. Luckily, none of the trees where we're at will fall down. Hopefully that they stay up and don't come crashing down because we do have some big pine trees in my backyard. More so in the wooded area of my backyard on the other side of our privacy fence. But at the end of the day, they're tall enough to if they come down the wrong way, they could hit the house. So, but anyway, we got some sales to go over. Not much. Three sales, nothing crazy from yesterday to today. Like $60, nothing crazy. But let's go ahead and tap in and dive in. And again, if this is the first time you're hanging out, my name is Joe, just your average Joe. We're hanging out in the garage. This is all raw and unedited. It's how we do around here. Uh, Comments is what we'll tackle first. Then I got a couple eBay situations that we'll talk about, and then we'll go over sales. So I don't think this video will be too long, but let's dive in. And hopefully you're staying dry if you're not in the path of the hurricane. If you're not on the East Coast anywhere, hopefully your weather is amazing because it's pretty nasty here. It's not hot though, so that's a good thing. I'm not sweating like crazy. It's not hot, so that's a good thing. That's always a plus when a hurricane comes through, especially in the summertime. It's not hot, which it cools down. I think we're supposed to get up to like 81 today, so it cools us down. From those 110 plus heat index days, which is humid and nasty and just brutal. So that's always a plus. There's always a fine silver lining, right? Or you got to find that silver lining sometimes. But I went grocery shopping this morning, and it was we got me and my daughter went like 7:30 in the morning because we went to pick up like water and just some canned foods and soups and just some things that we needed um, to hold us over in case we lose power and stuff like that. But the minute we walked out, like 2 or 3 minutes before we walked out, it just started drizzling. And then we walk out, it's still drizzling. We go to the car and it just starts downpouring. And that's like, oh man. So she runs in, gets in the car or the truck. And then I obviously got to get all the groceries in the truck. I just got soaked. I was absolutely, it looked like I just came out of a shower, basically. It was crazy. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad this morning. Like, luckily now we're just at a drizzle. But like I said, we're just getting those outer bands hitting us right now. So it's just going to continue gradually get a little worse, little worse, little worse. And then we'll start seeing some of the winds pick up. And, so I've been around a while. I've been in North Carolina since 96. So I've been through quite a few hurricanes, quite a many hurricanes. So it doesn't really bother me much. And being where I'm at, we're kind of, we're like 2 hours inland. So we normally, if we get a category 1 or 2 hit us, obviously that's a little bit more severe, but at this point most of the time we end up getting they reduce down to a tropical storm, which is still can cause a lot of problems obviously, but I've been through some of those category 1, 2s, and 3s that have still hit us this far inland. So this they're saying tropical storm by the time it hits us. I'm not too worried. So but anyway, let's go ahead and get started for the day with comments. So first one is Mr. Kurt says, yo, average Joe, welcome back. Glad to hear you had a good time. I did have a good time at the lake. Did have a good time. Appreciate that. Not bad. Not bad for vacation mode. They usually turn off the faucet big time when I go on vacation mode. You're not wrong. And for me too, I was kind of surprised that sales were still pretty steady. Didn't hit goal for nothing. Hit really like half of what my normal is. Well, actually, I'm not even gonna say that. My normal's been about half of what it normally is anyway. So it wasn't terrible. I'll say that. It was steady while on vacation. So appreciate that. Next one is Winston. Winston says, "Hey Joe, I'm in Florida right now on the Gulf side, but luckily it went north and we just got a ton of rain mostly. Welcome back, man. Missed your awesome commentary." Well, I appreciate that, Winston. Glad you weren't in the path. Glad you got out. Just kind of experienced the rain. Yeah, it did kind of hit the east side of the state, and then just kind of has been really South Carolina, Charleston right now is getting pummeled. My wife was telling me that there's she's been looking at TikToks and things like that, and like some older lady that's I forget how she put it, but basically she's been through like 30 been in the area like 30 years, and the flooding that she's experiencing now is in the top 4 or 3 or 4 since she's ever been there. So Charleston is certainly getting hit. And it's just going to keep going north, inland and north, from what I understand. And like I said, we're kind of in the path, but by the time it hits us, it'll be a tropical storm. So, but yeah, appreciate that, man. Glad you're doing good. Glad it didn't hit you too hard. You seem like Winston also follows up and says, you seem like a very professional, friendly, and honest seller. I am. I try to be. I try to do right by people, and that kind of goes back to some of the situations we're going to talk about from eBay. I got a couple scenarios happening right now. I got messages this morning from 2 customers, so we'll go over that in a moment as well. Once we get over through your get through your comments, and we'll address those, and y'all can let me know what you think about the situations that I'll hit in a minute. But yeah, I try to do right by people, man. Mark says, interesting. I'm paying around 12 to 15,000 a year in taxes. How many miles are you driving a year? I drive about 20,000. Well, I don't calculate it by miles, Mark. I calculate by dollar gas that I put in. I just put it on my spreadsheet. I think I mentioned that before. I got a little spreadsheet on Google Docs. It has all my expenses on it, so I just plug in what I'm paying for gas. I do probably put around. I don't drive a ton outside of doing pickups and stuff because I'm at home a lot, but I'm still putting probably 12-ish thousand miles, 10 to 12,000 miles on my truck every year. So, so hopefully that helps a little bit. But yeah, the main thing with the taxes, man, try to get everything under an expense. You know what I mean? Like try to expense out most of your purchases, which means you're going to pay less in taxes at the end of the year. And including your space, cell phone, internet, like there's certain things I stretch on too. Like there's some things I'm probably stretching and putting under expenses that may or may not, maybe a gray area, but I'm putting them under my expenses, whether it's a gray area too. So, obviously, if I can avoid paying taxes on some of my income, and have that expensed out as business stuff, then that's, I can't think. Well, I guess food. Sometimes food. I can't think of one off time. I mean, food, you don't get the full tax return on this stuff anyway, or full expense on that anyway. There's a percentage on food, but anyway, you know what I mean. There's those gray areas that are sometimes like, could that be considered business? Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's throw it under an expense. So, anyway, let's reply to that. All right, next one up is Blake. Blake, appreciate you commenting as well. Blake says, "Hey Joe, thanks for the reply. I've reached out to eBay a ton and could prove it was the same item because of the matching serial numbers. I messaged the seller and asked if they were mine, and he said yes. Wow, they admitted it. They were, and he accidentally listed them incorrectly and took the listing down. The guy even messaged me saying if I sent him a PayPal for $85, he'd mail them back to me. Man, you were dealing with a Yahoo for sure, man. That's crazy. I also reported this to eBay. I've heard nothing so far. Yeah, eBay is not going to, if they're probably not going to do anything, unfortunately. But and even if they do, they probably wouldn't reach back out to you to tell you, oh, we did X, Y, and Z. Even if they did do anything to them. But I sold them for 150, which is an insane deal because I didn't have a vacuum tester, but I could test continuity. Tested, I saw they were worth around 400, so I knew the seller would buy them on eBay to flip. I feel pretty wronged, but I still made $50 when all said and done. Just got to keep going. You're not lying. I'll say that kind of stuff doesn't normally happen. In one of my situations I'm having that I'll cover here in a few is kind of sort of similar, to what you've got going on or what you had going on. just the shady character. I guess that's more so what I'm referring to. Just a shady cat that I'm dealing with. So, but yeah, man. At the end of the day, you just got to keep rolling, man. I mean, if you made a few bucks, still, it's a shitty situation, but at least you made a few bucks on the deal, and sometimes we just gotta just take it on the chin and keep moving. Trust me, I've had some things like that happen as well. Not just like that, but have had situations where I've just had to take it on the chin and keep moving. So keep grinding, Blake. Appreciate you commenting once again. Justin says, "Thanks for sharing. Welcome back." Well, I appreciate that, Justin. I'm glad to be back. I saw all my analytics for YouTube went straight in the tank, right in the shitter. Everything went down when I was out on vacation. So kind of like eBay sales, not very good. All my YouTube analytics went down to like zero. So glad to be back. Glad to be active again and sharing and posting, and hopefully we can get us to get close to 500 subscribers. We're knocking at the 400 door right now. So hopefully we can get to 500 in the next month or so. That'd be nice to get to 500 subscribers. Kurt also says, yo, average Joe. Yes, VHS players. Oh, this is about the VHS player. VHS player sell. Literally had 4 in my death pile and listed them a couple weeks ago, and they all sold. Yeah, man. People sleep on VHS, man. Now, granted, whether they work or not is always hit and miss. But you got the good name brands, Panasonic, Sony, Magnavox. I mean, if you got the name brands, they sell you normally between like 30 and $100, just depending on which kind you have. Now, the good ones are the VCR DVD combos; those go pretty good too. But yeah, man. So if you don't know, now you know. If you're watching and you didn't know about VCRs, don't sleep on VCRs, man. And normally you can pick them up for like $1 or $2 or $5. I mean, at most usually. So you do hate? Do you hate clothes? Yeah. Wow, $70 for styrofoam. That's crazy. Yeah, I do hate clothes, but I sell clothes because they do sell. They sell slow, but they sell. And I hate clothes. And 70 for styrofoam. It's actually not too crazy because like people want to completionists for video games want to complete like their boxed Super Nintendo, and then they need the styrofoam. So they may come across the box, but don't. The styrofoam is really the hardest thing to come across. Boxes are hard to come across too now, in good condition. The styrofoam is even harder to come across. So it doesn't surprise me because I've been the guy that's bought the styrofoam because I'm a completionist when it comes to the video game stuff that I keep for my collection. So I've purchased what I normally do. If I'm missing the styrofoam, I'll buy the box and the styrofoam together because a lot of times you can get them at the same price than you just buy styrofoam, and then I can sell off the box because I already have the box. I just need the styrofoam, or vice versa. But anyway, I try to like same thing with video games. If I'm missing a manual for a video game, a lot of times I'll buy the video game with the manual to get the manual to complete mine, and then sell off the game in the case and get basically right back, get pretty much the same amount or maybe a few dollars less than what I put out to get it initially, or to complete whatever I need to complete. So, for example, I don't know what was the last one I did. Transformers on like was it? No, it was Captain America. The Captain America I just sold. I kept the original Captain America that I got in a bundle, but I didn't have the manual, so I bought Captain America with the manual, kept the manual, right, and then I sold off Captain America for Xbox for $35. I think I bought it for 30 CIB. So I ended up making like $5 on that deal. So anyway, that's another little thing that I do that it's just what I do. So it is what it is. But the same thing with applies with the styrofoam boxes and all that. We got the garbage truck coming, so you may hear my mic's on good. You might hear some loud garbage truck here in a minute. All right, let me reply to this. In fact, let me close the garage door for a moment. Let's do that so it's not so loud because it's just going to get louder. And it's going to hang around the neighborhood for a good 5 minutes or more. So we'll just do that, and then when it leaves, I'll open it back up because it's nice to have the garage door open. All right, so basically, that's Kurt, and then the last one is Leroy C64. First time I think I've seen Leroy comment. Leroy says, "Dang Joe, why you hate so much? Sounds so negative." Are you talking about the clothes? Maybe the clothes. I hate clothes, man. I hate clothes. I wasn't trying to sound negative. And then Winston gives you question marks. Appreciate that, Winston. I'm kind of question marking that myself. Like, okay, yeah. If I sounded negative, well, it is what it is. We're raw and unedited around here, so that's just, I guess, just how I came through. But I do hate clothes, so just throwing that out there. I got a ton of them. If you've never seen it before, oh man, I hate clothes. And then I got bins. I got like 3 bins there full of clothes. Clothes. I hate clothes, man. Have I ever said I hate clothes before? I don't think I sound negative when I talk about that. I think I kind of sound playful and like, yeah, they make me money, but I hate clothes. So anyway, all right, so that pretty much covers all the comments. I appreciate you guys commenting. Again, anybody that's watching, if you wanted to drop a comment and I can touch on your comment, articulate things, dive in, whatever you want to talk about, I like talking. So throw me some comments and we'll discuss them on the next one. So the couple things happening on eBay. If you're still with me, still hanging around. This morning I had 2 messages. The first message from was a customer that bought a hoodie back in June 2nd. He bought the hoodie in June 2nd. And again, you guys can comment, let me know how you feel about both of these situations. I'd like to hear from you guys what your thoughts are. But June 2nd, he just now messaged me, which it is now August 6th. So we're talking almost 2 months after the fact. And he says basically, the jacket you sent me is I believe is a youth extra large and not an adult men's extra large. Can I get my money back? And I'm like, so the way I handled it was, well, unfortunately, we're well outside of the 30 days. Well, first, I apologize for any inconvenience. That's just my customer service hat. I used to work at AT&T, so I always kind of start off with, hey, I apologize for any inconveniences there. However, we are well outside of the 30-day mark. So at this time, there's no options to do a return on that item. Now, through eBay. Now, if you would like to return it on your dime, you can certainly do that, and I'll be happy to refund you the $23, which is what he paid for the item less the original shipping. So I would refund him not the original shipping. He would have to send it back on his dime to me, and I would refund him the $23. So I did send that back to him, and I haven't heard anything back on that one. So that's not a huge deal. Obviously, I'm leaving myself open to possible negative feedback. Sometimes it is what it is. If I do get negative feedback on that one, I'll try to appeal it, because now the way eBay does it is you have to, I used to be able to just call and they would take care of it 90% of the time. Now they've got a dispute process. I think you have to go send it to the buyer first. And then if that doesn't work, then I believe there's the new process is as a submission through eBay on the feedback on computer. And then if that doesn't work, you can call eBay. And I'm pretty sure the last one I did that on, they ended up taking care of for me. It's just been a while. But then you can call eBay and let them know, hey, I did X, Y, and now we're at Z. Can you guys take care of this? And so it's always going to be hit and miss. However, if you got a strong case and you got open returns, like I have 30-day returns, a lot of times eBay takes that into consideration and will take care of it, especially if you're talking to an American. If you don't get somebody overseas, the folks overseas are very cut and dry. I used to work in a call center for AT&T, was a manager in a call center. I took escalated calls when I was a rep. And so 9 times out of 10, when you escalate to a manager, it's still a rep that's like got manager access and manager ability, but they're not an actual manager. But to you, you don't know the difference. That's just how it is. And that's how the game plays in the call center. So, it's one of those things where sometimes you got to kind of play the game. If you get an American, there a lot of times will go that gray area. They'll take care of you still. The foreigners are very black and white. Like it's this or it's that, and there's no in between. It doesn't matter. The human effect, the human element doesn't matter. It's the policy is this and it's that, and if you don't fall into those exceptions, there's no you can't do nothing. So that's the problem with getting the foreigners. If you get an American, a lot of times they'll have that gray area where they'll take care of you, or at least consider it, because they understand the situation better than the foreigners do. A lot of times the foreigners just don't get it, man. I hate to say it, they just don't quite understand. They don't understand our lingo, our our perception, our perspective on things, and so they're just black and white, and they stick to the company guidelines. They are not deviating from company guidelines. And I'm not saying that Americans and American company and won't either. I had folks in my call center that were just black and white, and they would customer would escalate, and then they'd get me, and I'd take care of them. There's that gray area. I'll take care of you because I understand the situation. I understand the that there's not, we have to come up with a solution because this is a unique situation, and it's not just black and white. You're in a unique situation that happens, and there's not always, you can't always go black and white on those things. So anyway, a lot of times my reps would get upset because, they weren't due that credit, or you shouldn't have done the reversal on that fee, or you shouldn't have got them a new phone, or then they're going to escalate on me and talk to a manager above me who's going to do it, because the managers before I became a manager, they're going to just do whatever. If you end up getting a manager on the phone, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to sit and argue with you. They're just going to take care of whatever it is and keep it moving. But anyway, that's a whole nother. We can get into all that. That's my old past career and my past days, and I worked at AT&T for 11 years, so I know how the things work in call center environments. But at the end of the day, if you need to call eBay to dispute your feedback, you got to go through those processes first, because they're not even going to talk to you unless you've gone through the seller or the buyer and then done it through the website now. And then they'll talk about it with you and possibly help you out at that point. But again, it's always hit and miss. So that's the first issue that I've got. The second issue that I have is this is in fact, I probably need to bring the comments up on this one. This dude's is a Yahoo. I hate when I get Yahoos. So I sold while I was on vacation mode, and I mentioned it yesterday in my video yesterday. When you go on vacation mode, eBay shows you that the seller is on vacation mode, and it gives you the date in which the item's going to ship. In my case, all my items are going to ship on August 5th. I went on vacation on the 22nd of July, or put my store on vacation mode on the 22nd of July. Everybody that purchased something got a message from me while I was on vacation saying, hey, in case you didn't see it, just sending a reminder. And this is just being a proactive seller. Okay, just a reminder, in case you didn't see it, your item will not ship until the 5th of August. Okay, I sent that to everybody. So let me go to this guy's. It's not going to show me all the thread of it, huh? That stinks. So I got to go through every message on it. So he sends me a message and he says, so I just shipped his item yesterday, and this is after I sent him the message, right? He bought it on the 25th of July. I sent him a message on the 25th of July saying, hey, blah, 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 your item won't ship till the 5th. He never replied. Most of my customers replied and said, oh, enjoy your vacation. Thank you for letting me know. Or, oh, I already saw it. Thank you for the reminder. Enjoy your vacation. So most customers are good, man. Most customers are good, but you get those Yahoos that aren't. And that makes it difficult and puts a sour taste in your mouth. But most people are good. So with that being said and understood, the first thing he says to me is, this morning, says, took you 10 days to drop it off? Motherfucker, what? So then I just sent him back my template that says I'm on vacation. I won't ship, your item won't ship until the 5th. Then I sent him another communication that said, I wish it would show the thread like it does on my phone. I should get my iPad. I said, I just want to remind you in case you didn't see it, I'm on vacation until the 5th. So I sent him the exact same message I sent him on the 25th of July. I just copied and pasted and sent that. His rebuttal was, it's past August 5th. You're right. Today's the 6th, but your item shipped yesterday. So what are we talking about here? What are we Why are we even talking right now? Are you serious? So you can just kind of get a feel of this dude's being an ass. Then I forget what I sent to him. Let me see. It doesn't have the thread. I think I sent him like several messages to the effect of, hey, eBay showed you the 5th. I sent you a message showing you the 5th. Basically your item shipped on the 5th. And I sent him like 2 or 3 messages back to back to back. His reply to that was, how about sending 1 message at a time, not 5? Dude's just being a jerk, man. He's just being a jerk. He's a tool. This dude's obviously a tool. And he has 11,800 feedback. So he's been around eBay for a while. Now, the plot thickens, so give me a moment. So then I forget what I sent back to him. I think I sent the same thing. Yeah, the thread's not on here. It doesn't show the thread. But I basically just sent him another message saying, hey, don't be that customer. Like I did 40 transactions almost while I was on vacation. I sent a message to every one of my customers being proactive. Most sellers don't do that. Educating you that the 5th is the ship date. eBay showed you the 5th with the ship date. I even showed them a screenshot where it said your item won't ship until the 5th, and then your approximate delivery date is the 8th, because he says something about change the handling time, then is what he said after that message. So then I sent him the screenshot showing it showed the 5th and showed delivery, approximate delivery on the 8th. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Are you kidding me? Why are we going back and forth over something so petty? So I happen to look this guy up because his thing Preston Hamilton. It said something about VHS or something on his ship address was like BH VHS company or something like that. So I was just like, let me look this dude up. He's out of Covington, I think, Covington, Kentucky. So I was like, let me Google this company and see if it's like they pop up. Well, the very first thing that pops up was a scammer alert that the guy has a brick and mortar store that does old electronics, VCRs mainly, and that he actually, for this particular seller that sold to him, he put in that basically he took out working parts and then sent him, claimed that the item wasn't working. So my gears are now turning, like this dude's about to scam me now too. So he's not only being a jerk, okay? He's about to scam me too. He's gonna get my VCR and then tell me it don't work. So the plot will thicken once it delivers, because I'm confident that's what's about to happen. This dude's about to scam me and tell me that this VCR don't work. The VCR worked perfect. I tested it, 3 different VHSs. It works, 100% works, and VHSs don't just stop working. So, look, we'll just see what happens. But this dude is a tool, douchebag, one of those yahoos, 1 in 100 kind of thing. Like, this dude's an ass. So I'm just waiting. So then I sent the last thing I sent to him was I think I can do from to account. How do I go to my sent? Duh. Let me just read you my sent messages to him. So my first sent message said it shipped yesterday, and because he said it was past August 5th. I said it was shipped yesterday. And then I said, let's see, 1, 2, 3, third message. I said, am I missing something? Don't be. This is me being me because I'm getting frustrated, man. Like, that customer service hat comes off. Now, I don't work for AT&T. I don't work for nobody but myself. The only repercussion is you leave me some negative feedback, like a boat, and then I'll call eBay and be like, look, this dude's obviously a tool, and I'm sure they'll take care of me. But either way, now if he claims the item doesn't work, because that's what that's what the rabbit hole we're thinking is, he's going to claim the item doesn't work. He's going to pull parts out of it because he obviously, when I Googled his business and seen that the very first thing that popped up was somebody with feedback about him. So I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen here. But either way, I said to him, am I missing something? Don't be that customer. I've had 40, I think I mentioned this before. I've had 40 transactions or so while I was on vacation. You're the only one giving me a hard time. Your item shipped on the 5th is mentioned by eBay and myself. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So then I said, he said it's past August 5th, and I just sent back to him, come on, man, really? Laugh out loud. It shipped yesterday. What are we talking about? I feel like I'm going in circles here. Let's see. What does this one say? All right, 2 more comments. The next comment I said to him was, most sellers, I think I mentioned this too, most sellers don't even send a message to remind you of the delayed shipping while they're on vacation mode. I was proactive in sending you a message on top of eBay showing you that the item will not ship until the 5th. Please don't be a bad customer. Look, my customer service hat came off, man. I wanted to go anyway. And then my last message to him said, I sent him a screenshot of the showing shipping the 5th, approximate delivery the 8th. So that shows right there, black and white. Sent him that screenshot, circled what it says. And I said, eBay showed you shipping August 5th and approximate delivery August 8th. Not sure what you're referring to, because he talked about the handling time. So what do you mean? What are you talking about? Not sure what you're referring to. You may experience delays in delivery. I kind of poked at him here because I knew he was being a tool. So we got the hurricane going on. So I was like, you may experience delays in delivery due to the hurricane. Hope that's not inconvenient. And have a wonderful day. He hasn't replied back. We're going to leave it as is. But again, when I pull up, let me go to his order real quick and pull up his thing, and I'll read to you guys what the very first thing pops up. So his store name, no, his username. Okay, his username is not this. Oh, actually, I think I can pull him by username too. But the way I found him was through his store because this address has the store on it. In fact, I think I can go back. Oh, can't go back here. Let's see if I go here. And we go to view order details. So yeah, his shipping was BH Rewind in Covington, Kentucky. BH Rewind. So when I looked up BH Rewind and Googled it, because I was like, maybe he's got a store or something, or maybe he's got like an online shop. So let me just Google this dude real quick. So when I Googled him, the very first thing that shows up is YouTube. Is that it? No. YouTube. Oh, when I Google, well, I'm on Yahoo. Why am I on Yahoo? Google. Let's go to Google. Google search. When I did a Google search for him, bad buyer list. Very first thing that pops up, bad buyer list. Now he's got a bunch of stuff. He's apparently on YouTube. BH Rewind episode. I don't know if that's him or not. Bro Word Health. I don't think that's him. But the very first link that's not a YouTube video is bad buyer Preston Hamill 71, which is his screen name. So I was like, okay, that's him. So I click into it, December of 2023. So this is not even a year ago. This is, 10 months, 7, 8, 9 months ago, 8 months ago. Somebody put in a bad buyer thing on him. I don't know what website this is, badbuyerlist.org. Never heard of it before. But they put the purchase date of March 2023. So it was actually a little over a year ago. But it says details. He bought an item from me and opened the item to take a part out, then returned the junk item. He also has a brick and mortar store. Employees buy items from competitors to ruin them. He also sells on Amazon under Remix LLC. Thank you for taking the time to share your experience. Blah blah blah. It's been reported to the Better Business Bureau. No. Somebody replied to his message or replied to this report and said this man purchases. So this is a totally different person. Says this man purchases from other online sellers, takes their parts, and then says it's not working and returns the product unusable and uses the parts to sell his items. Horrible and dishonest. So that was somebody totally different saying that. So that's why I'm saying I think what's going to happen is he's going to claim it doesn't work, and then I'm going to show eBay the bad buyer list and be like, hey, obviously this dude at MO is this. So now he took parts out of my stuff and it's not working. 100% that thing was working. I don't know how eBay is going to handle that. I'm probably still going to have to eat it if he does return it, claim it's not working. He's going to play the game. The thing that blows me away, he's got 11,000 feedback, which is crazy. So we'll see. It may be, kind of Blake to your point on your message. Like I may just have to eat it and keep it moving. It's a $40 sale, $58 after shipping. I don't know how it's going to shake out. Hopefully he's not a douchebag and he just and we don't get a return on it and everything's gravy. But the way things are looking based off of that, this ain't his first rodeo doing this kind of stuff. So anyway, that's what I got. Let's go over sales. They were pretty slow. Don't have a whole lot to cover, and then we'll let you guys go for the day. Let's see, selling and orders. We only had 3 orders, so let's pull them. First thing was a Pokemon, McDonald's Pokemon. I got to find these things. I think, are they in here? Yeah. So McDonald's Pokemon, lots of 3 Pokemon for $10. Nothing crazy. Was it this guy, and Pikachu? So these are like the old Pokemon characters from McDonald's. So just I don't know the character names, but there's this guy, the little snake dude, and then there's Pikachu. So $10 plus shipping. I've had these up for probably a year or more, but there you go. $10 plus shipping. They're out of here. That's what matters. Helping the wheel turn on a slow day. That's sometimes what you need because again, I only had 3 sales for 62 bucks, and that's including shipping. So I'm only made like $50 between yesterday and today so far. Naruto, which one is that one? Because I got 2 of them. Naruto, Rise of the Ninja, Xbox. Naruto, Rise of the Ninja for Xbox. Let's find this thing. Naruto, broken. Nope, we need the other one. I will also say, I'll share this, a little nugget I'll throw at you guys here in a second. This is the second time this has happened. So I'll share this. There it is. All right. So if you have a game like, I think the last one I happened to me on was like Zelda. I think it was Zelda for GameCube, which is like a, I don't know, I forget which Zelda it was, but it was like the $80 one or $100 one. Um, um, so there's the Naruto Rise of the Ninja. This sold for $25 plus shipping. If you ever have a video game that doesn't work, so let's say, so let me backtrack. If you sell video games, I'd recommend getting yourself that J and F or J and D or whatever it is, disc resurfacer. That works pretty well. Buffs out all the scratches and stuff. Does a pretty good job. If you have to sand, it usually doesn't work afterwards. It's like a hit and miss. But usually the buffing part works pretty well, and afterwards the disc looks pretty good, and still works 90% of the time. Wii games are the only ones and GameCube that tend not to work after the fact or have a lesser chance of working. But anyway, what I'm getting at is if you have a game that's worth a bunch of money. So, for example, let me just show off the one so it makes a little bit more sense. Zelda was the example I'll also use, but we'll just go ahead and pull the game so you can see it because I forget the name. It's the Dragon Ball Z. It's the Dragon Ball Z game that's super popular. Here we go. Or super expensive. The Tamagotchi 3 or Tama 10 10 10 Tenkachui 3. Anyway, it's this one. The Dragon Ball Z Tencha Gui, whatever, however you say it, 3. So this game is worth a lot of money. Not so much on Wii. This one on Wii is worth like 60, 70 bucks or something like that. If you had it on like PlayStation, it's like 150, 200 bucks or something like that. But what I'm getting at is, and what I want to share is, even if the game, so this one I resurfaced, it was really bad shape. I resurfaced, it didn't work at all. It just pop up, can't read. Well, I resurfaced it. It turned out pretty good. I didn't sand it because, like I said, 9 times out of 10, once you sand it, it's a wrap. So I don't really sand much anymore. If it goes to sanding, I don't really mess with it anymore. But I ran it through like 3 different times. It reads it now all the way to the opening credits, and then it freezes and says can't read anymore. So I'm like, okay, well, what you can still do, and this will be the third, I want to say, second or third, I think third game that's high value. I probably, this isn't going to work on low value games, but the high value games, still put it up. I got this up for, I think $24.99 or $29.99. It's got some watchers on it already. And I got it listed as doesn't, exactly what it is. It's disc only. It doesn't work. So I got read on the title. Anytime I need people to understand there's something about the item they need to know about, I always put read in the title at the end in bold or in caps. And then in the description, I got in that, it goes to the opening credits, and then it freezes and says it can't read the disc anymore. So somebody will end up buying this probably to resurface it with a much better resurfacing machine than I have, because they've got some like professional grade ones and upper models than the one I have. So, or I don't know what else they'll do with it, but either way, what I'm getting at is you can still get a few dollars out of games that are high value games that won't read anymore. The last one I remember for sure off the top of my head was Zelda on GameCube. Did the same thing. Didn't work. Put it up for like 25 bucks and somebody bought it. You know what I mean? Because they're going to try to resurface it and try to salvage it. So anyway, just a little tidbit, little nugget. When you come across really higher valued games, if they don't work, don't chalk it up as a total loss. You know what I mean? So All right, and then the last thing that sold was a Bose power adapter. I come across these from time to time. No, that's the actual Bose power adapter. Should be in here. I can't see very well. Well, oh, I think is it this one? I think it's this one in the box still. Let's see. Bose power adapter sold for $10 plus shipping. PS51. PS71. So that's not it. I must have another one. Let me open the garage door. But oh, I can't see very well. And I can hear that rain. I can hear that rain. Or maybe this is the right one. PS71. No, it's PS51. All right, so I have two apparently. Well, usually, did I mislabel it? Well, isn't that a conundrum? Is it in here? Nope, that's Nintendo. Maybe I mislabeled it by accident? I thought I had two of them. So I'll figure that out. I'm not going to keep you guys on camera and go through my fumble. So I'll figure that one out. If it is mislabeled, I'll message them and say, hey, it's actually the P71, PS71. But that's all I got for you guys today. Again, that only sold for 10 plus shipping. I may have to do a refund on it. I don't know. That one didn't have a box. I'm pretty sure I got it. I just got to find it. Or I mislabeled it, possibly. I guess I need to check to see if I got the PS71 up as well. That'll let me know. Anyway, again, sometimes you get those little hiccups like that. So I'll figure that one out. But that's all I got for you guys today. Again, terrible sales. Now my goal today is to get put my store back on marketing, put a marketing promo up for, to get more eyeballs on. I usually do like 5%. I may bump it up to 8 or 7. I don't know. But normally I do 5% for the marketing promotion to help get more eyeballs on stuff. And then or promoted listing basically is what it's called. And then I'm also going to, it might still actually be on, but I'm going to end it and then reset it. A lot of times that helps jumpstart it again. And then I'm going to do a sales discount of 5 or 10%. Probably 5% on my newer items, and then 10% on my older items. And then maybe even go a little aggressive on the old items, go 20%, try to get some more stuff out of here. So that's going to be my goal today, is just kind of hammer that down, jump behind the computer, because it's always quicker to do it on the computer than your phone, to set that stuff up and to go through your items and to do those things. So definitely do it on a computer. But those will be the two things I do today. So hopefully we see a little bump in sales, a little bump in traffic, a little bump in offers and things like that. That usually is the case whenever I do those things. So all of my promotions have been up now for about a month. I usually leave them up for about 30 days. So they're all, if they haven't ended, they're going to end. And normally toward the end of the promotions, you see that the trend goes down anyway. So that's why it's a good rule of thumb to just kind of reset them, end them, let them reset, and then start a new one. It takes like an hour or so for everything to kind of come off the promotion. So when I end it, I'll just go do other stuff, and then I'll come back to it like an hour later, 2 hours later, and then actually set the promotion up. Because if you just try to end it and reset it, it'll say you only have like 4 items to do it on, because eBay's going through the process of getting all those off promotion, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time. I don't know exactly the amount of time. I just usually give it about an hour or so before I go back in and reset. But that's it. That's, if you haven't done those things, I highly recommend doing your sales promotions, do your discounts, your sales promotion, and your promoted listings and sales promotion. Those are 2 good things to do if your sales are slow. I know people are like, but I don't want to lose money. Well, do you want stuff to move or do you want stuff to sit? I want stuff to move, because I'm starting to get to a point where I'm getting overloaded with stuff and I need to move it quicker than I'm well, that's obviously the goal. Move it quicker than you get it almost. But at this point, I'm certainly not moving it very quickly like it was. Like I've seen my 30-day, my 90-day average go from legit. I was up to like 33, 34,000 for my 90-day average. I was killing it last year. And then since about February, whenever shit started kind of going downhill and eBay started slowing down, since about February-ish, my trend has just continuously gone down little by little by little by little. I'm actually only sitting at like 20,000 right now, 20,500 for my 30-day average, which is, it's not good. So, and I can see where I've got, you know, I'm only selling about, normally you sell about 1% of your stuff. Your sell through rate, normally about 1% of what you have up. So if you've got, in my case, 630-ish items up, I should be selling about 6 items a day. Well, as you see, between yesterday and today, I've only sold 3. I'm like half. So that's 0.5% of my stuff that's up is selling per day. That's terrible. In my history, since I've started doing this full time, the trend I've identified that's been pretty consistent for me since I started doing this full time 8-9 years ago has been about 1% of your items sell daily of what and that's been since about February, March. It's been half of that. It's crazy. So it certainly means something with eBay is not quite right. Whether it's permanent and this is just the way it's going to be and I got to step up and do better, or cross platform, because I can't go too long without hitting goal. We've talked about this before. So, and I've talked about cross platform stuff before. And, as much as I don't want to do it, I'm reluctant. I don't want to take on another something else on my plate and have to worry about that. It certainly is going to be something that I'm really looking into if this doesn't change, because I should be selling at least 6 items a day. It's just how it is. And sitting at 3, and I don't care that it's only $60, with 3 items. If I had sold 3 more items, I'd be 100 plus, you know what I mean? So that's where I'd need to be, is closer to 200 really, but at minimum should be my 6 items with at least $100 for the day. I can't even, it's a struggle sometimes to do that. So granted, coming off vacation mode certainly makes a difference. And now that I'm going to pump stuff up again and sales promo, marketing promo, that should certainly help. But at the end of the day, eBay's just not quite been hitting like it was hitting. And the fact that all last year and up till about February, March of this year, my 90-day average was sitting around 30 grand to 30 to 35 grand. And now we're down at 20. Like, that's like, holy cow, what is happening here? Like, I keep looking at the number go down and down and down, 20, 29, 27, 26, 24, 23, 22, now at 20. Pretty soon I'll be in the teens. You know what I mean? Like, that's just crazy. So anyway, that's all I got. I'm sorry the video's so long. Hopefully you got a couple things out of this. Enjoyed the video. Drop some comments. We'll address them on the next one. Hopefully I sell 6 things between now and tomorrow. That'd be great. But have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay dry, stay safe if you're in the hurricane path. And we will see you on the next one, everybody.